Nestled in the hills just outside the city of Ramona, California, lies a 40-acre compound owned by Axel Hodges that he calls Sleigh Ground, and it plays host to X Games 2022 as we get set to kick off the BMX Dirt Final. Hello everyone and welcome inside the booth. My name is Jimmy Coleman, as always alongside Chris Doyle. We have Jack Matrani out in the field, and as we get started, or we get set to kick off this event, you have to talk about one of the busiest BMX riders this weekend, Pat Casey. He's competing in multiple events. He's also your defending dirt gold medalist from last year, which he won in his backyard.
Yeah, I mean, he is busy, to say the least. 5 different BMX events, and Pat Casey is always a threat to that top of the podium, showing you just why here with footage from our last year's competition at BMX Dirt. He slept in his own bed, he ate home-cooked meals, and it showed. He was on point last year, looking to defend that title. Just nothing but the biggest tricks, the best style. Always a pleasure to watch Pat Casey do his thing, showing you that cash roll right there.
Yeah, he is in every BMX event with the exception of street and also riding Moto X 110s. However, we have to talk about Logan Martin. He missed last year due to Olympic obligations. He's got 3 medals in his last 4 BMX Dirt starts.
Yeah, absolutely. Logan Martin is a threat to the top of the podium in any BMX discipline. He's always going to bring his A game. He's always going to try his best. And like you said, he's here. He's fresh on the bike from the Olympics. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Logan Martin puts it all down when he comes face to face with a guy like Pat Casey.
There are 10 riders in the field here. We talked about Pat winning gold last year. Logan Martin has a gold from 2019 in Minneapolis. You also have David Gonziak, who took a gold medal in Sydney in 2018. But some other standouts here in the field in your mind, Chris.
Well, I really like Gabriel Chavez, the Argentinian man. I haven't seen him a lot at different contests. He's kind of a new face here. He's an X Games rookie. He's our first guy to drop. I'm really looking forward to watching and seeing how he interprets the course.
Well, you want to talk about parity in the field. In the last 7 competitions, we've had 7 different winners, and that going all the way back to X Games Austin in 2015. So this one is definitely going to be an interesting one to watch. And we started off with an X Games rookie. As you mentioned, Gabriel Chavez, he was the winner of the April 2022 Monster Energy BMX Triples event in Denver. Let's see what he's got here in his first outing in BMX Dirt.
Yeah, loving that backflip tail whip over there. Oh, huge 270 tail whip. Never easy to be the first guy to drop at a contest. Showing that backflip tail up to late X up. There's that backflip bar spin looking like he's going a little knack-knack, kind of 1-footer right there. Like I said, never easy to be the first guy, but it's a good showing from Mr. Gabriel Chavez.
Well, you see the time clock there. This is a jam session. It is 36 minutes long out here in the BMX Dirt Finals. We take a look at his first set of replays here.
Yeah, showing you that front flip going a little bit long, straight into the backflip tail up to late X up. Good first showing. He's got a lot of style, kind of a classic dirt jumping style. He can do a lot of these big, crazy tricks, but he also can snap a nice tabletop, a nice turn down. He's got a really cool, unique style, and just excited to have a rookie like himself out here.
Well, we take it back up to the top as we welcome in Daniel Sandoval. We typically see him in a lot of park competitions. He does own several park medals. He's got 1 gold and 3 bronze. He competed in the first ever BMX Mega Park event that we had yesterday out at Elliott Sloan's backyard.
And how are you just going to drop into a decade on that very small first hit? Showing you some style right there with the 1-footed dark side. Truck driver to late downside tail whip. Double downside 360 tail whip.
Oh, how did he hang on there?
Truck driver to late tail whip. You don't really see him do a lot of natural 360 tail whips. It's usually that 360 with a downside tail whip. So truck driver to late tail whip on that very last set. Biggs, check him out right here. There's that 360 double downside tail up, kicking that bike his opposite direction. And there's the truck driver to late tail whip, just barely wrenching it around. That is a 28-foot set, and that lip is 9 feet tall. That is a big jump. I know sometimes it doesn't. We forget how big these jumps are, but that was an impressive run from Mr. Daniel Sandoval.
So we are off to a good start here with our first 2 runs at the BMX Dirt Final. We take you now to our Canadian competitor, Mike Varga, X Games 2022. This will be his 7th appearance. His best dirt finish was 5th, X Games Minneapolis 2019.
Check it out, spin to win, spinning all down these. You saw that corked out front flip on that, corked out back flip on that very first hit. Corked out 720 coming into the last set. bar spin backflip. I know that was an impressive run, but I know that Mike Varga has more in the tank for that. You see him shaking his head a little bit right there.
Well, that's the beauty of it. With this jam session, you're going to get multiple attempts at it, and it is the best run that counts out here today.
Yeah, there's that 360 downside tail up, kicking the tail up in the opposite direction. Nice corked out 720. Check him out here. There's the bar spin backflip over that 28-foot set. You know he wants a little bit more on that, but he's going to be back. He's got a couple more runs to go, Jimmy.
Well, let's talk about the format. We haven't done that yet. Here, we talked about the 10 riders at the top of the show here. They are going to run in order in a 36-minute jam session. And as I mentioned before, it is the best run that counts. However, you will not see scores. There will not be individual scores assessed to all the runs. It is a live ranking. So instead of the numbers, you will see the names slide around on that leaderboard as we go through this competition. Daniel Sandoval sitting in that top spot as of now. We have 3 returning gold medalist in this field, and this is one of them right here. This is Poland's David Godziak. As I mentioned at the top of the show, he took that gold at X Games Sydney in 2018.
Yeah, David Godziak is always so fun to watch. I feel like I don't get to see enough of him. He spends a lot of time in the mountain bike world, does a lot of slope style. He's very competitive in that as well, but here he is on a BMX bike. Happy to have him out here. Showing that backflip bar spin over the hip. There's that downside double tail whip, keeping it going. Nice. Oh, and it does the cash roll.
Get out of here.
Oh my goodness gracious, Jimmy.
I don't know who that was in the background, but you could hear someone say, "Get out of here" on that last hit right there. What a run there for David Godziak.
That is a 28-foot set of doubles, and that trick is so insane, taking you right down the course. There's that bar spin backflip over the hip. Look at him hitting this set. Is this the cash roll? No, okay, this is not the last set. But there's the cash roll. It was earlier in the run. And then when he hits this very last set. Now, this is a hard one to explain. He calls it the twister. It's actually a 720 front flip. To me, it looks like an off-axis 1080 a little bit, but regardless of what it is, that was a solid, solid run.
So again, no scores here. It's just a live ranking, and David Godziak finds himself in that top spot here early on in round number 1. We bring in Andy Buckworth here. This is his 11th appearance. He took gold last year at Pat Casey's backyard in Dirt Best Trick with a no-handed double backflip. And going back to that BMX Mega Park event from yesterday, he was also one of the competitors out there.
Yeah, Buckworth is one of these guys. He's got the double backflip so on lock. It's just no big deal for him. Check him out here. There it is. There's that no-handed double backflip, Jimmy. It looks like he played it a little bit cool early on in the run, but it looks like he was setting up for that huge double backflip tuck no-hander, just letting it all out right there. Wow.
The one off the long and low was super windy.
Check him out right here, showing you that front flip. Nice, natural, just finding the landing. Those landings are so long, so you have so much time to land. But here's that double backflip, tuck no-hander, just eyes on that landing and just puts it down perfectly.
So we'll see where that slides. Andy Buckworth into the mix. It's Godziak, Sandoval, and Varga, your top 3 as of right now. So that is going to be good enough for 5th at this point in time. But remember, it is the best run that counts. Here's a gentleman riding with a bit of adversity out here this weekend. Practicing for this event, he suffered a separated shoulder. He was a little nervous coming into this. He rode in BMX Mega Park yesterday where he walked out of there with a bronze medal. This is Australia's Jay Toohey.
Watch Jay Toohey on this last set. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I don't know if he's going to do it now, but he's got some heavy tricks in the bank for that last 28-foot set. And there's the bike flip right there, midsection. Check him out, Jimmy. There's that double backflip.
Oh, I thought he was over-rotating that one, but Jay Toohey hangs on. What a first run for him.
Wow, wow, wow. Great run from Mr. Jay Toohey, and he is pumped. And it's so impressive just how dialed these guys are with the double backflip. A couple years ago, that would have won you an entire contest, but now it's just another day for these guys. Showing you that triple tail up right into the bike flip, pushing that bike forward, completely dismounting and catching up to it. And then here's the double backflip. Check him out. He goes a little bit long. He has to lock up those brakes. but a solid, solid run from Mr. Jay Tui.
And again, I mean, a separated shoulder, it didn't look like it affected him at all yesterday in BMX Mega Park. Well, like I said, he walked out with a bronze medal, and now he finds himself in the #2 position here in the opening round of competition. Great first outing there for Jay Tui. Moving along now to Great Britain's Ben Wallace here. He is a 3-time X Games Dirt medalist. He owns 2 silver and 1 bronze in the event.
And Wallace is in. Wallace has one of my favorite styles overall on a bicycle. He's very fluent. He looks really good on a bike. It looks like he's playing a little bit cool here, Jimmy. Not doing a lot of flipping, not doing a ton of spinning. We haven't seen him do any tail whips yet, showing you that backflip. I don't think that's what he wanted for that. Just kind of played it ultra conservative.
Maybe just sussing it out, trying to see what how the scoring looks here. Maybe it's the wind. We've heard a couple of sound bites in the background there in this opening round where people have been talking about the wind. That could be a factor. We'll have to see as this competition unfolds here.
Yeah, I know how Ben Wallace rides, and I know that he has more in the bank than that. He didn't even trick the first set, where we're seeing a lot of other guys do tricking on every single set. So we'll see more from Mr. Ben Wallace.
All right, here comes Bryce Tryon out of Lodi, California. He was an X Games rookie last year. We held this event in Pat Casey's backyard. He walked out of here with a dirt silver medal in his opening X Games appearance.
Yeah, now notice that Bryce is right foot forward and he's spinning to the right as well. Showing you the bar spin front flip, getting a little bit sketchy. Natural Superman to late bar spin. I love to see it. Ooh. Backflip bar spin to late tuck no-hander. What I was going to say, he's right foot forward and he spins into that right foot, meaning that he's goofy footed. So his riding looks a little bit more unique than what a lot of these other guys are doing.
Here's reaction there. He said, my hands are tingly right now. Giving himself a pat on the chest after that one.
There's that bar spin front flip, spotting the landing. The landings are so nice and long, but he gets a little bit loose there, but hangs on to it. There's that bar spin, back flip to tuck no-hander. Clean run from Mr. Bryce Tryon.
So we'll see where this ranks last year's silver medalist in this event in the overall standings. That'll slide him into that #5 spot for now. We talked about Logan Martin at the top of the show, but before we see his first run here, let's check in with the 3rd member of our crew, Jack Matrani.
Thanks, Jimmy, and hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Man, do I have a story for you guys. Apparently, Logan Martin pulls up, he rents a Tesla, he throws all of his gear in there, he goes to a local shop, doesn't know how to lock the Tesla. When he gets back to his car, his bike is gone, all of his equipment is gone, and so his wife took this bike off the wall, sent it here with a friend, and now he's on course, riding this bike off the wall.
Well, we have Logan Martin on course right now. Showing, oh my gosh!
Oh, slipped the pedals, but he keeps it rolling. Can he get over this last set?
How did he recover?
I have no idea
from
how
that.
He made it over that last set right there, but that was insane.
What I really want to know is how he didn't know how to lock the Tesla. I mean, he must have been in a hurry, didn't want to YouTube it, but obviously that's no fun to pull up to X Games and not be riding the bike you were planning on riding.
Yeah, that's actually his Olympic bike that he didn't plan to ride again. So as you said, his wife took that off the wall and sent that up here with another friend who was traveling here. So he missed an entire day of practice because of that.
I want to know how Logan Martin was able to sit down, miss the pedals, stand back up, and still complete the run. That was some veteran moves right there. But we got Mr. Pat Casey on the course, a guy that we're talking about a lot this weekend. Got a 2nd place in our BMX Mega Park. Truck driver to inward can-can. There's that downside double tail whip. Ooh, truck driver looks like he wanted a little bit more out of that. 360 double tail whip. Eyes on this last set, 28 feet. There's the cash. Oh!
Just a little too much back tire right there and slides out.
And we need a new pair of pants down to the dirt course right now for Mr. Pat Casey. Unfortunate to see him come out of that cash roll tail whip. Just came out the back. He's got no brakes on that bike, as you'll notice.
Gonna need some Flex Seal tape for the right side of those pants.
But check him out. If he had brakes, he could probably lock him up and still make that happen somehow. But all that force just put him to the back seat and put him right on his rump right there, splitting the pants in half. Hopefully he can get some new pants before his next run.
Yeah, he immediately gave the double thumbs up to the course staff right there, but having to walk away and shake that one off. A tough break right there in round number 1 for your defending dirt gold medalists. However, it is best run that counts, so this is far from over. We've completed 1 round of runs, and as of right now, it's your 2018 Sydney Dirt Gold medalist sitting in the top spot. We'll have more when we come back to X Games 2022. Welcome back, everyone, to the Axel Hodges compound here just outside of Ramona, California. The lone BMX event out here at the sleigh ground. It is the BMX Dirt Final. We are just underway. We've completed 1 round of runs here thus far. It is a 36-minute jam session. It is the best run that counts. And where do we stand right now? It is David Godziak sitting in the top spot, followed by Jay Toohey, and Daniel Sandoval rounds out the podium positions for now. However, there's still a lot of time on that clock and a lot of riding left to be had. But how about that performance by David Godziak there, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I know what he's capable of. It's always so good to get that first run down, get a good score. So now he can play around a little bit, maybe clean some things up, do some things that he wishes he could have done in that first set. So and now he's kind of laid back a little bit. He gets to see what everyone else is going to do. But right now we have Gabriel Chavez on course. First time at X Games. Very excited to see him out here, Jimmy.
He finds himself in that number 6 spot here in this second round of runs.
Showing you that front flip tuck no-hander. There's that cash roll, and he slides out. Unfortunate for Gabriel right there.
Yeah, finds himself a couple spots out and just trying to step it up a notch right there. However, lots of time left, and we'll definitely get into a 3rd round of runs, possibly a 4th. We'll have to see how fast we roll through this here.
Yeah, showing you that front flip tuck no-hander. Went a little bit, well, actually landed pretty good on that one, I must say. And then he was just going for this cash roll here, a trick that's typically not too difficult for him, and just slides out. Not a bad slam, but uncharacteristic to see him mess up like that.
So we'll have to see more of him in round number 3. He will stay in 6th for now. Next up, we have Daniel Sandoval, finds himself in a bronze medal position. As of right now, X Games 2022 is his 13th appearance and his 5th dirt start. His best finish in this event is 7th from Minneapolis 2018. Like I said, he does have 4 X Games Park medals. He has 1 gold and 3 bronze. He got that Park gold medal in 2015.
And keep your eye on the subtleties of Daniel Sandoval. He's always able to fit something in. Check him out right there. Decade on that very first hit. 720 with the bar spin. He has to step out of it, slides to safety. But a little bit uncharacteristic of Daniel to mess up like that. That first section, according to the riders, is very technical. You have to land well, you have to get your speed right, and then the final 2 sets are a little bit more party time. But yeah, that first section is a little bit technical, and we're seeing it giving Daniel Sandoval a little bit of trouble there. But up next, we have Mr. Mike Varga, the Canadian.
Yeah, he owns 3 X Games medals. He has 2 gold, 1 bronze. As I mentioned before, his best dirt finish was 5th. The last year we were in Minneapolis, which was 2019.
There's that 360 double tail up, loves to spin. Triple truck driver, catching all of them in between. 360 with a downside tail whip. Corked out 720 no-hander. It's got a great run going here, Jimmy. Bar spin backflip, late tail whip. That was a full pull. Mike Varga might just slide himself back up into that top 3 position, I should say.
I'm going to say this one's going to be interesting. He is just on the outside looking in right now as we take a look at some highlights.
There's that 360 double tail whip. And this is the corked out 720 no-hander. Some people might say that's a 360 backflip no-hander. To me, it looks like a corked out 720, but either way, that was a solid run. And here's that bar spin backflip, late tail whip, hanging on to it and riding away smooth.
Puts that one down picture perfect. So again, no scores if you're just joining us. It is a live ranking. We just saw Mike Varga's second attempt. He's outside of the podium looking in. We'll see if this will bump him up. It's David Godziak, Jay Tui, and Daniel Sandoval, your top 3 for now. And Mike Varga overtakes David Godziak. That run puts Mike Varga in the top spot here in round number 2. So now David Godziak is going to get a chance to answer back here. He was your leader at the end of round number 1.
He looked really solid in that first hit. Very interested to see what he's going to do on runs 2 and 3 and just, see if he's going to play around a little bit, because I know he's got a lot more in the bank that he can do. He's a talented bike rider, and I'm absolutely excited to have him back here at X Games riding dirt. He's very great on park too. Just overall can step to anything and dominate.
And as you mentioned before, competes in mountain bike slope style, and he's podiumed at some of the biggest mountain bike events in the world. He owns 2 medals in 3 X Games BMX Dirt starts. He's got a gold from Sydney in 2018 and a bronze from Minneapolis 2019. So just waiting up there. Looks like we're on a bit of a wind hold here.
Yeah, and you can see his hair kind of flapping in the helmet there. So waiting on the wind. I mean, these are big jumps. The top part's technical, but when you get to those bottom last jumps, that's a windy section, and those are big jumps. You don't want to be playing around if you don't have to be. So he's taking his time, he's getting his mind right, waiting on the wind, and these jumps were built by Adam Alois and his crew, Corey Nastasio, Jimmy Rushmore, James P. Nutter, guys that really know their stuff when it comes to building dirt jumps, building trails. Check him out, David Godziak on course. Oh, just getting into that landing right there. There's that downside double tail. It's got a good run going. There's that front flip tuck no-hander. There's the cash roll with the bar spin, adding that in from the last run. Oh my goodness, Jimmy.
Just goes a little deep there in the end.
Yeah, that no-hander twister like that. I mean, like I said before, that's a hard one to explain. It looks to me like an off-axis 1080. Some people call it a 720 cash roll. He calls it a 720 front flip, calls it a twister. Him and Nikolai Rogatkin, most popular for doing that trick. And he throws the no-hander in this time. That is a 28-foot set of doubles right there. That is a 9-foot tall lip. That is a huge jump. Some of the,
look at his shirt cut on the left end of the bars.
He grabbed the shirt. That is a nightmare for any bike rider. I mean, every bike rider has been through that in some form or fashion. So just a tough break from Mr. David Godziak. Maybe tuck that shirt in for the next run and get that done.
Yeah, that last replay, you could see he was fumbling for the grip and then just got caught up. So good to see him up and walking away under his own power and shaking that one off. So we go back up to the top here for Andy Buckworth.
Yeah,
gold last year in Dirt Best Trick with that no-handed double backflip. He also owns a Big Air bronze, which he got in 2010 in his rookie X Games performance.
Yeah, Buckworth seems like he's a very busy man himself. Spends a lot of time on tour with the Nitro Circus, competing in multiple events here at X Games, and always a pleasure to watch. I think he's waiting on the wind himself, Jimmy. Maybe the wind's picking up a little bit more as the contest proceeds. But Buckworth is on course. I love the Superman seat grab Indian Air, paying homage to the guys like TJ Lavin. There's that big front flip. Oh, no-handed backflip, head to last set. Sold! That was a slow double backflip. And you see the way the handlebars hit him in the chest as he came up a little bit short on the landing there. Unfortunate for Buckworth, but he is up. He's walking away. Looks like he's in some pain, though, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's holding on to that left wrist right there. hopefully we'll be able to see him return in round number 3.
It's bad enough to case a jump like that. It's got to be twice as terrifying when you case off of a double backflip. Just seeing those bars go right into his chest. Couldn't get a hand out really and just slides it out. Good to see him walk away, but he does look like he's battling a little bit of an injury.
Yeah, you see him grimacing right there, and he's holding on to that left wrist and the forearm there. So hopefully he can shake that one off and come back into the later rounds of competition here as we are at the 17-minute mark and counting down. Jay Toohey, your bronze medalist in BMX Mega Park yesterday, sitting in a bronze medal spot yet again here today as of right now.
Yeah, corking out that backflip on that first little set right there. Watch how he switches his feet when he does tail whips. You'll see him, whoa, the triple tail whip. Now he's left foot, oh! Has to bail out of the bike flip. That's the first time I've seen him mess up on a bike flip like that. It seems like it's such a consistent trick for him, but so uncharacteristic to see him mess up on that when normally he stomps it. See how the back wheel just kind of hits him in the chest and he has to push it away.
Yeah, that one just, you'll get a better look at it right here. That one just clips him. It got him kind of in the midsection there.
I love how he had the air awareness to push the bike away and slide to safety. That's the mark of a man that knows what he's doing.
Well, he's another one of those guys like Andy Buckworth. He spends a lot of time on those Nitro Circus shows, and these guys do this day in and day out. So he knows how to get away from stuff like that. And like you said, he's usually pretty money on that trick, so it's rare to see him slip up on one of those. But we'll have to see more of him in round number 3 as we get set to bring back in Mr. Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace played it pretty safe on that first run. He didn't trick the first set, and then he was just kind of, you know, doing some 3 look-backs and just kind of chilling out the rest of the line. So maybe he's got more in store for us here.
Maybe he wasn't just feeling it with that win the first go-around.
Now, I love a solid 360 look-back like that. Tuck no-hander to turn down. But, there's that corked-out 720. Tuck no-hander backflip. I mean, I love it. I appreciate it. I like the style, but I think that Ben's going to need some more tricks in that run if he wants to break in to the top 3.
Yeah, he's down there sitting in that number 9 spot for now here.
Hello, everyone. If you're watching, I hope you're watching. I hope you signed in.
Wallace giving a shout out right there. Big.
He's doing some PR.
Yeah. Corked out 720. I mean, I love it. I love that run. It's stylish, but I think, you know, in the judges' eyes, they're going to want to see more out of Mr. Ben Wallace.
So we're just under the 15-minute mark here in this jam session. Taking a look at Bryce Tryon right now, his second X Games appearance. He walked out of here with a Dirt silver medal last year. He currently finds himself 2 spots out of podium contention for now.
Yeah, showing you that 360 one-footed flatty. He's actually a 450 one-footed flatty. Bar spin front flip going a little bit long. Little blip on that tuck no-hander right there. Just settling for the single backflip on the 28-foot set. And I don't want to take anything away from what these guys are doing. That's a big set. That's a big backflip, and these guys just make it look all too easy. But he messed up earlier in the run, so you know he wants to get a little bit more out of that.
Just that one landing was a little bit of a hiccup right there, and it was enough to throw him off for the rest of the run.
Yeah, it looks like he went a little bit long on this bar spin front flip. Kind of jars the body a little bit.
So again, at this point, it's Mike Vargas sitting in the top spot, David Gaziak sitting in second, followed by Jay Toohey for now. As we welcome back in Logan Martin, who's down there kind of at the bottom of the pack as well. He's sitting in that number 8 spot.
Yeah, and we know that Logan has more. It's going to be really interesting to watch as this contest progresses, what he's able to do. There's that downside double tail up. Downside tail up 360. There's that bike flip. Catches it clean this time, Jimmy. What's he got on this last set? Bar spin backflip.
Well, bar spin backflip at all.
Bar spin backflip to late tail up on that huge set. That's the run he wanted, but is it going to be enough to put him in the top spot? We'll have to wait and see. There's that huge bike flip. He gets so far away from the bike, just does the running man to catch up to it. Here's that bar spin, backflip, late tail whip. Looked like he had more time after that. He could even put something in after that tail whip. Bar spin, backflip, tail whip, just clean as you like, and he knew he had it from the second he caught those pedals.
Well, the Minneapolis years were good to him in dirt. He's got a silver from 27 to 2018, and as we said at the top, won gold in 2019. He actually won park and dirt gold on the same day there in 2019. So pre-run there, he was all the way down in 8th place. This is definitely going to be an improvement. The question is how much. That's not going to be enough to put him into the top 3. However, that'll move him up 4 spots, knocking on the door of the podium for now. He'll have to settle for 4th here. As we bring back in Pat Casey, we talked about that schedule. He was in BMX Mega Park yesterday, where he walked out of there with a silver medal. He's got BMX Dirt. After this, he has Moto X 110s, and then later on in the weekend, he's got BMX Park as well as BMX Park Best Trick.
Yeah, that's one heck of a schedule right there. I love the truck driver to late inward can-can. There's that downside double tail whip. Settles for the 360. This is where it starts to get kind of windy for these guys. 360 double tail whip. And there's the tail whip cash roll. Wow. On a 28-foot set, and he stomps it this time, Jimmy.
So that's definitely going to get him out of the bottom of the pack. And you can hear the reaction. You just said, whoa, man, that was scary. Seemed a little scuffed up after that slam in round number 1.
Yeah, and here's that tail whip cash roll. On a jump that big, it's hard to identify the cash roll. I know just from knowing Pat's riding, some people might call that a 720 tail whip, but that's a tail whip cash roll. Not a lot of guys doing that, so awesome to see Pat Casey just stomp it down like that.
So with the fall there, he was in 10th pre-run, so this will be interesting to see how far up the food chain he's going to move here. Again, J2 is sitting in that number 3 spot, David Godziak in the number 2 spot. So Pat's going to move up from 10th, but it's only going to be good enough for 5th place as of right now, but still just over 10 minutes left to go here on the jam session clock. So lots more riding still to be had here from the BMX Dirt Final. But after 2 rounds of runs, it's the Canadian Mike Varga sitting in the top spot. We'll have the conclusion of BMX Dirt when we come back to X Games 2022. Welcome back, everyone, to sunny Southern California, just outside of Ramona here at Axel Hodges Sleigh Ground. We are set here for the final round in BMX Dirt Final, but before we get to that, let's check in one more time with Jack Matrani.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm up here on the start right now, and it might be nice and easy in the booth right now, but up here it's definitely a bit breezy. I talked to our current leader, Mike Varga. He said that the wind is definitely a factor. They're just trying to block it out right now, and they're so focused on the tricks that they're doing. Then I talked to Andy. He was doing that double backflip, and the wind got him, and that's why he had to crash. But if you look over here, turn this around, camera, follow me for a second. These things are flapping, so definitely a factor. Hopefully they're still able to put down these next runs and the wind chills out. But that is the weather report from meteorologist Jack Matrani. Back to you.
Well, there you go, channeling your inner Jim Cantore right there. Thank you for the weather update there. Yeah, it's kind of deceiving there with the vegetation because you don't see it blowing around a bit, but you look at the flags there up at the start tower, and that gives you an accurate depiction of what these riders are dealing with in the wind conditions here. But again, here coming into this round, it's Mike Varga who puts himself at the top spot in round number 2. David Godziak, who was your leader after round 1 of runs, finds himself in a silver medal position, and it's Jay Toohey who sits in the bronze medal position for now. Again, 36-minute jam session here. It is the best run that counts. Jimmy Coleman here alongside Chris Doyle. We get set to welcome back in our X Games rookie, the lone rookie in the field out here today, Argentina's Gabriel Chavez.
Here's a stat for you, Jimmy. If Mike Varga hangs on to that gold medal spot, he'll be the first Canadian gold medalist in BMX dirt jumping since Jay Miron in 1995.
The very first year of X Games, all the way out there in Rhode Island. Also, if we're playing stats, if Varga gets the win here, it will also be our 8th different winner in the last 8 contested BMX dirt events here at the X Games. Just to give you an idea of the parity in the field.
Yeah, and we see the bushes just blowing in the wind. We see the tent blowing. We see all the shirts just blowing in the breeze right there. It is never fun riding a contest like this in the wind, especially when there's a lot on the line, when the jumps are big. The wind can really play a factor, both mentally and physically, because you're up there and you're just trying to predict when the wind's going to die. Is it going to die by the time you hit the last set, or is it going to be windy the whole way down? I mean, we had those years in Austin, Texas, in which the wind was just swirling. But Mr. Gabriel Chavez is in. He's on course. Bar spin on that first set. There's that tail whip backflip over the hip. He loves that 270. 270 with the tail straight into the front flip. There's that cash roll. Oh, just cases it a little bit. It could have been the wind that caught him on that. Just not happy with his first ever X Games right there. Just, you know, 2 mess ups. He had a first good run, though.
Yeah, I mean, he was off to a good start in the beginning there. And again, you know, your rookie performance there, shaking off those jitters and being the first to go, that's a tall order.
Yeah. Here's that cash roll. Just comes up a little bit short this time and just couldn't recover from it. Throws him down to the ground. He slides to safety. But I think this kid's got a bright future ahead of him. We'll definitely be seeing him at more dirt jumping contests in the future.
So we're just under 10 minutes left here in the jam session. Daniel Sandoval sits in that number 6 position for now. Yeah, along with several other riders in the field competing in that BMX Mega Park event yesterday.
Whoa, Sandoval's up and running. Can he get that tail whip around? How did he recover from that one? Downside double tail whip. Truck driver to late downside tail whip again. There's the downside double, and he has to bail out. Big slam, Jimmy.
That was a wild one, but he got away from the bike right there and bounces right back up. But again, at the top of the run, that was a pretty big save right there.
Yeah, and I know these are dirt jumps, but when enough of these guys ride it and it starts to get hard packed, that dirt is as hard as concrete. So that is a big slam. He's one tough customer. Good to see him on his feet. We might see him later on this week.
Yeah, he bounced back from that one rather quick, but again, he's in that number 6 spot as we bring in our current leader here, Mike Varga, for round number 3.
Showing that 360 with the double tail. There's that triple truck driver catching each bar spin individually. Downside tail 360 to late bar spin. There's a corked out 720 no-hander. Great run going here, Jimmy. Bar spin backflip on that last set. You know by the industrial language that he was using that he wanted a little bit more. But good to see him at the bottom of the hill. He's got a nice clean shirt on. Pretty much flawless all day today.
Yeah, you know, when you're in the top spot, that's not a bad place to be, but wanting to add to that run there for sure.
Yeah, here's that corked out 720 with a tuck no-hander. Sometimes when he does it, it looks like a 360 backflip, but to me that looks like more like a corked out 720, keeping those hands off, full pull start to finish. He's clean all day.
So we're just under 8 minutes left to go. We'll see if that holds up for now. Again, Varga, Godziak, and Tui, your 1, 2, 3.
Taking a look at David Godziak here.
So that was the last run there for David Godziak. He got hung up where the shirt ended up. He was fumbling for the grip there, and his shirt got wrapped up. So we'll see how this goes here in round number 3 for Mr. Godziak.
Yeah, you live and learn. He tucked that shirt in this time around. And gosh, so many BMXers have been in that position where you're doing a tuck no-hander, you're doing a bar spin, you're doing something, and you accidentally grab that shirt like that. And when you grab that shirt and you try to grab the grip, it is an absolute nightmare. You have a panic attack. I know exactly, well, not exactly what he went through, but I've grabbed the shirt on a couple occasions too, and it's not fun.
So with just under 7 minutes to go here, again, we've seen a lot of riders hold up due to the wind. That's been part of the story here as we roll through this BMX Dirt Final, the lone BMX event out here at Axel Hodges Slayground. So just waiting for David Godziak to roll it in, and here we go. Currently in a silver medal position for now.
Yeah, Godziak, well, I don't think there's going to be too much of a surprise on that last set. We know what he's going to be trying. He's got that shirt tucked in. There's that double tail whip, downside tuck no-hander front flip. There's the cash roll with the bar spin. Eyes on this last set, Jimmy. Here we go. There's that no-hander twister, and he pulls it around perfectly, and he is stoked right now.
You can see the reaction from the rest of the crew up there at the roll-in.
That's the run that he wanted, Jimmy. Will it be enough to overtake Mr. Mike Varga and unseat him and get into that gold place position?
You could just see the relief on his face after that one.
Yeah, showing you that bar spin, cash roll, landing clean, getting a good pump down that waterfall, and then this is this twister with a tuck no-hander. I can't even imagine what that's like going over that 28-foot set like that. Here's where he takes the hands off, shirt's tucked in, no problem there. Gets the hands on, just fumbles a little bit with the brake lever, pulling it back around perfectly. Solid performance by Mr. David Godziak. And he slides in the first place.
So he trades back with Mike Varga. So it's Godziak, Varga, and Tui now with just about 5 minutes left to go here. Still lots of riding left to happen. You still got Logan Martin and Pat Casey sitting on the outside looking in right now. Those guys have runs coming up here. And it's good to see Andy Buckworth back up at the top of the roll. And you see him shaking off that left wrist just a little bit. He was favoring that thing quite a bit after his crash on that last run there. But good to see him back in the lineup. And he is in for his third attempt.
Well, let's see how much that injury actually affects him. Oh, and he misses the seat. I'm sorry, that blew my mind there for a second. He was doing the Superman seat grab Indian air, letting it go into a tail whip, and just letting the back end of the bike go around, and he just missed it a little bit right there. But that was a really cool trick. That's something we see like Kim Grosser do back in the day. Ruben Alcantara did it back in the day. So paying homage to the old gods there.
So here you go for run number 3 with Jay Tui. Again, he's got a bronze medal yesterday in BMX Mega Park. And just to tell the story, I mean, separated shoulder coming into this event, and I talked to him practice on Tuesday, and he wasn't feeling 100%. He was definitely nervous at BMX Mega Park. Walked out of the medal, and now he's looking at a potential second medal for the weekend.
Yeah, not a bad weekend for Mr. Jay Tui, and he's still a huge threat to get that top spot. If he can clean up a run and pull it together, I think we could have a shakeup here. Showing you that 360 tuck no-hander. There's that downside double. I love how he switches his feet. That's so cool. Here's that triple tail, kind of sticking with what he's been doing. There's the bike flip, catching it perfectly, Jimmy. Eyes on this last set. Check him out. Double backflip. Once again, he stalled it out like he was just playing with it a little bit. Did he want a little bit more in that double backflip? I'm not sure, but we'll watch on the slow-mo how he kind of stalls it out. Showing you that triple tail whip. I love how he switches his cranks, brings them back. Now he's left foot forward, throwing that bike forward for the bike flip, letting the legs dangle out there. A little bit of a Superman. Here's that double backflip. Just eyes up the landing, kind of stalls it out a little bit. How can you just play around with a double backflip like that? Like it's no big deal on a 28-foot set.
It's just insane to watch how easy it is for him to put those down like that. So get pre-run, bronze medal position, looking at a potential second medal for the weekend. We'll have to see if that holds up there. He got a silver in Dirt Best Trick last year. His only X Games medal until yesterday, as we take a look at round number 3 for Ben Wallace, currently sitting down there in the bottom of the pack.
Okay, so Ben's on course, and we noticed how he tail whipped that first set, whereas normally he's been just straight jumping it. Tuck no-hander. Oh, I love the seat grab knack. The X up, paying homage to guys like Fuzzy Hall. Eyes on that last set. Looks like he wanted a tuck no-hander in that backflip. Yeah, it seems like Wallace has just kind of played it cool all day, just kind of chilling, doesn't want to get hurt. There's a lot of wind out there. So I know he's got a lot more than what he's shown us today, but he's a guy we're going to see later on in Park as well. So maybe he's saving it for Park.
So tough break there for Mr. Wallace, who's going to stay down there at the bottom of the pack as we bring in Bryce Tryon here, your silver medalist from last year. We are just under 2 minutes, so this could possibly be the last round of runs here. It's trending that way.
And Bryce Tryon is a guy similar to Jay Tui who's got the double backflip in his back pocket. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays around with that a little bit and maybe increases his score a little bit, gets him out of that 7th place position. Double tail up, looking strong. There's that 450 one-footed flatty. Bar spin, front flip, late tuck no-hander. I love a Superman to a bar spin. Eyes on this last set. There's the double back. Oh, and he just kind of front to backs the landing there. Gets up flexing. These guys are tough, Jimmy.
Yeah, just kind of skips off the front tire right there, so that is going to do it there for Bryce Tryon. So we are down to our final 2 riders. See, there's just under a minute left on the clock here. These guys are both on the outside of the podium looking in. You've got Logan Martin, who sits in that number 4 spot. He's due up next, followed by your defending gold medalist, Pat Casey, who sits in the number 5 position. It comes down to these last 2 runs.
Yeah, and this is a rare spot. Oh! I was going to say it's rare to see Logan Martin with his back against the wall, not in those top 3 positions. Just went down heavy on the opposite triple. It almost looked like he was going for 4 a little bit, but looked like he rocked his head a little bit. I don't know, we're gonna have to take a look at that replay. Corey Nastasio coming out, checking out, see if he's okay. I know he can do opposite triples pretty much on lock, triple tail whips. But it looked like it was going a little bit further than that. But unfortunate to see him take a slam, but good to see him up walking away.
Well, and the good news is we're getting word from the sports and comp staff that there is going to be a 4th round of runs now due to the win. So we welcome in your defending gold medalist, Pat Casey, here for attempt number 3, but we will have another round of runs here in BMX Dirt.
Wait, check him out. Oh! Just misses the pedals on that. Well, the one guy that's probably not excited about a 4th run is Mr. David Godziak, in that, you know, now it gives everyone else another chance.
There's 2 more, I think.
So we go back up to the top of the order here. So it was David Godziak in the lead after round 1. Mike Varga put himself in the top spot at the end of round 2. At the end of in round 3, David Godziak puts himself back on top, but we go back up and do it all over again. 1 more round of runs.
Gabriel back on course, backflip tail up over that hip. There's that 270 with the tail whip. Tuck no-handed front flip. There's the he's going for the cash roll tail whip, similar to what we saw Pat Casey do on the last set. Gabriel's trying to do it midsection and just came up super short, hanging up on that case pad, gets launched to the flat.
I mean, trying to roll the dice there in that 4th and final run, so not going to be an improvement for him, but welcome to the X Games, Gabriel. Here we go with Daniel Sandoval. He's been hanging out in that number 6 spot.
Well, Sandoval's certainly a guy, he's got the tricks that could really move him into that top 3 spot. So this 4th run might be a bit of a blessing for him. If he can put something down, he could easily move himself into that top 3. So really looking forward to seeing what he has in store. He's a guy that does well under pressure, so we might be in for a treat here, Jimmy. Here we go, eyeing up the huge.
Just sent that one deep, and unfortunately that is going to do it for him out here in BMX Dirt. Blow his back tire on that one too.
Yeah, definitely blew out that back tire. Like I said, this stuff is hard as concrete. So when these guys land hard, they land super hard.
So he was your leader in round number 2. He now finds himself in a potential silver medal position. This is Canada's Mike Varga.
And the triple tail whip 360 on that hit right there, coming up a little bit short. He's got to settle for the dead sailor on that one. Corked out 720, eyes on this last set. Clean backflip. Just, I would have loved to have seen him, you know, pull that successfully together. But I mean, this guy hasn't messed up really all day. He's allowed a little bit of a case there. Still in that silver medal position. Here we go, 1, 2, 3 tail ups in that 360. Actually, it's a 270 technically, but wow, would have been awesome to see if he could have kept that going, but unfortunate for him, he messed up a little bit there. He's going to settle in that 2nd place position for now.
If he medals, it'll be his first dirt medal. He owns a Park bronze, and he's got 2 Park best trick golds, but this will be his first X Games dirt hardware. So we'll see if that number 2 position holds up as we take a look at Poland's David Godziak, who is your current leader. See that gold in Sydney in 2018. He took bronze in Minneapolis in 2019.
Well, what does David do here? Does he go out there and just have a good time? Does he just kind of flow around, do a couple tables, a couple turn downs, or does he go out there and just send it? He's already in that 1st place position. Does he just lean back on what he's already done, or does he really try to throw down in order to, you know, fight off the Pat Caseys and the Logan Martins?
We are about to find out in this final run for him.
Check him out, just flowing down the course right now. Looking like he went with my option one, just to kind of flow and have some fun out there. Why risk injury if you don't have to, right?
Well, after the wind and some of the crashes we've seen in this event thus far, he decided, hey, I'm in that top spot for now. I'm just going to kick back on that and see how the rest of this unfolds. As he makes his way down to the bottom there, and a pat on the back there from Mike Varga.
Yeah, and we saw Logan Martin go down in his last run. We don't even know if he's going to return for a fourth run, so that might, give Godziak a little bit of breathing room, but he definitely has Pat Casey still breathing down his neck. He's going to come back for that fourth run, so it'll be interesting. We're not done yet here, Jimmy.
We bring back in Andy Buckworth, and again, it was round number 2 where he went down pretty hard. He's still favoring that left. I don't know if it was the wrist or the forearm. You saw him at the end of his second run holding on to both right there, but the last time we saw him step up to the roll-in there, he was shaking that one off right there. Andy's down there in that 9th place spot, but again, look at the flags right there at the top of the start tower there. And it's blowing directly. It's like a headwind right now.
Yeah, and it's never easy to ride when you're injured after you've taken a slam. It's like the last thing you want to do is keep riding. So these guys are gladiators. They're just going out there and giving it their all and just absolutely sending it. And Buckworth is a tough kid. I say kid, he's 32 years old. I can't believe he's that old now. Wow.
So here we go. He is in for his 4th and final attempt here.
There's that tuck no-hander over that first hit. I love it. Superman seat grab and just lets it go into the tail. That's a downside double tail. That's opposite way for him. Has to settle for the dead sailor here. Double backflip midsection. Eyes on this last set. And there's the front flip tuck no-hander. That was a good run, Jimmy. On one of the sets, though, he didn't trick it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the judges place him after that one.
Yeah, there was that straight jump there early on, but he came into this in 9th. Again, he had that crash on the double in run number 2. And again, just holding on. He was pointing to his elbow right there with whoever he was talking to at the bottom of the run.
Yeah, this is a double backflip midsection. Gets in there pretty clean, goes a little bit long. Yeah, thumbs up from Buckworth. If you can just walk away from one of these events and relatively healthy, like you've done well for yourself, because I know how these things can go. And unfortunate to see him go down in one of his runs, but always a pleasure to watch Mr. Andy Buckworth do his thing.
Yeah, he's still favoring that left arm there as he walks off there, but glad to see him able to get back up and resume in this competition. Again, J2 here looking at possible 2nd medal here in 2 days.
Love how he switches his feet with that downside double. There's that big bike flip. Once again, opposite triple, Jimmy. Putting the feet back together. There's that double backflip.
Oh, how did he squeak that one in? Wow. Wow.
That was a solid run. J2 coming in on round number 4, trying to shake things up a little bit. Already in that bronze position. Can he work himself up into maybe 1 or 2? Check him out. There's that 450 tuck no-hander. Switches the feet. Double downside whip. And I would have loved to get a look at that opposite triple tail. He just hung on to it, getting lots of speed, lots of pump for this double backflip. Our drone just right beside him.
We keep talking about the shoulder. He also suffered a ruptured left MCL in early May of this year, and he was off the bike for 8 weeks, and that's going to bump him up over Mike Varga. He finds himself in a silver medal spot now. So nicely done there on the last run by J2. So we're down to our final handful of competitors here. It's David Godziak in gold medal contention for now, followed now by J2 in silver and Mike Varga in that bronze spot here. As we welcome back in Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Ben Wallace. Love the style, love the flow. Tuck no-hander to late turn down. You love the knack-knack seat grab X up. There's that corked out 720. Eyes on this last set. There's that tuck no-hander backflip. It looks like he's really having fun. Then that's really what it's all about. Just out there riding with the boys, having a good time. I think the wind was a factor for Ben. He was talking about it in practice a little bit. Just wants to stay safe, maybe focus on park a little bit, but always a pleasure to watch him ride regardless. There's that corked out 720. got to see Ben ride at the Battle of Hastings last year, won that event, and you know, made it look fun. It was a team event. Just, I think Park's definitely where he shines.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you know, obviously not feeling it here with the win and self-preservation, definitely the name of the game. Your silver medalist from this event last year finds himself in a number 7 position for now. After him, we've got Logan Martin and then Pat Casey. We are down to our final 3 competitors.
Bryce Tryon on the course right now, kicking that double tail up, sticking with the line that he's been doing all day. There's that bar spin front flip. Messes up a little bit, uses that case pad, has to crank it out a little bit. And there's the double backflip. It's amazing to me how these guys can mess up.
And then throw a double.
And then throw a double backflip, like it's no big deal. That's just the progression, that's where we're at now, and it's a sight to see, that's for sure. Now we did see that Mr. Logan Martin was on the deck, so it looks like he is gonna take his final run here. Be interesting to see how he plays this. This isn't a position he's normally in. His back's against the wall. He's out of medal contention right now, but it'll be awesome to see if he pulls something together. Truck driver to downside tail up. There's a triple tail up on the hip. There's the downside tail up, 360 late bar spin. There's the bike flip. Are you kidding me, Jimmy? He's got a solid run going here. And he hangs on to it. That was a full pull from Logan Martin. Will it be enough to unseat David Godziak? Will it be enough to get him into that top 3 position?
He's just outside. He's in that number 4 spot pre-run.
There's the downside triple tail whip. Love this bike flip right here. Just chucking the bike forward. Completely dismounted. Just has to wait for it to come. A little bit of a running man, jumping back on. Just finds those crank arms, lands clean. And then he bobbled with the feet a little bit, but they don't touch the ground. We're gonna have to see how this goes, Jimmy.
Never dabbed on that and was able to ride away, keeping his toes off the dirt there. What is it going to be? He was in that number 4 spot pre-run. Again, it's Mike Vargas sitting in that number 3 spot. Jay Toohey bumped himself up to 2nd here in this round, and David Godziak still in the top spot as we await the ranking here. Again, no scores, it's just a live ranking. Will this be enough to move Logan Martin up, and if so, how far, with Pat Casey, the lone rider, left to go here? And it is enough. It jumps him up into podium contention. It puts him in the bronze medal spot, so that'll bump Mike Varga out. So we know David Godziak and Jay Toohey are going to be leaving here with some hardware. Logan Martin sits on the bubble here because the last rider standing is your defending dirt gold medalist from last year. He sits in that number 5 spot. It all comes down to this last run for Pat Casey.
Well, back against the wall here. There's that double downside tail up again. Ooh, just coming up a little bit short. But he's a busy man, and we're definitely going to be seeing him later this week. But just wasn't Pat Casey's day, but it was David Godziak's day. And wow, amazing to have David out here, the gold medalist in BMX dirt jumping.
Yeah, what a day for him, especially that slip up right there where he got hung up on the grip, and then he comes back, tucks the shirt in, and walks out of here with a gold medal. But how about the weekend Jay Toohey's having right there? He gets a bronze in the first ever BMX Mega Park, follows it up the next day with a silver in BMX Dirt. And then you got Logan Martin on the last run, walks out of here with a bronze. But how about the performance by David Godziak here?
Yeah, just the full pull on this run right here. It's showing you that tuck no-hander, like the huge twister tuck no-hander.
So we send it down to Jack Matrani with our winner.
Congratulations, David. I mean, not only are you competing against the best in the world, but it's also windy out there. You just earned yourself your 2nd gold medal. I mean, how special is this one to you?
It was a big challenge for me to do it, especially coming straight from a mountain bike contest happening last weekend. But I can't believe it. It happened. I did the best tricks what I could, and it's one of the best days on BMX for me.
It's one of the best days for us too, just watching you. Congratulations, so much respect.
Thanks so much.
Yeah! Woo!
So it was a hard-fought battle in the wind out here for BMX Dirt, but it's Logan Martin that adds his 4th dirt medal with the bronze. It's Jay Toohey who walks out of here with his 2nd medal of the weekend with a silver, and it's David Godziak who claims BMX Dirt gold.
Yeah, we had one heck of a dirt jumping contest. David Godzia taking the overall win today, taking it back to Poland, like he said, coming hot off the heels of a mountain bike competition as well. Good to see everyone rode their best, stayed safe for the most part. We saw big tricks, big slams, and that was a great BMX dirt jumping contest, Jimmy.
Well, that is a wrap for BMX Dirt here at Axel Hodges Sleigh Ground. I'm Jimmy Coleman on behalf of myself, Chris Doyle, and Jack Matrani. We thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.